The DA has officially submitted the findings of the Zondo Commission of Inquiry as supplementary evidence in its 2019 racketeering case against the ANC. The party has reported charges, to police against the ANC. These include fraud, corruption, money laundering and racketeering as part of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act, or under the Prevention of Organised Crime Act. Let's take you to Cape Town, bring in our reporter Athi Mtongana. Athi, what exactly is contained in this case as a whole that the Commission's findings will be adding to?
Well, you will recall, Tembekile, that in 2019, the Democratic Alliance approached the NPA's Shamila Batoyi, asking her to investigate the African National Congress as an organization as a whole. Now, what they've done following the final submission of the Zondo Commission report is to approach the South African police with those findings that came from the Zondo Commission to say they should open a criminal case against the ANC. You read as per the Poker Act. But I do have with me Natasha Mazone, who's the chief whip of the DA in Parliament. Thank you so much for your time. Now, what exactly are you then saying that the South African police must do that the NPA won't be doing, especially because they'll all be looking at the findings of the Zondo Commission?
So, as you know, when I testified at the Zondo Commission, we handed up an affidavit with thousands of pages of evidence to go with that particular affidavit. So what we've done today is we've done an executive summary for the police. In 2019, we did write to Advocate Batoyi and ask her to investigate the racketeering and the ANC as a whole. And she described that the Commission was busy doing its investigation, and that afterwards, then the police and other security services would then become involved in the investigations, etc., etc. So now that the case, we have the Commission now finished, it's now our job to take all the information that we have to the SAPs, which we've done today. I've written an affidavit on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. I've attached all the information that I handed up to the Zondo Commission, plus the information that we have from the Zondo Commission, which proves that it's not only an individual, it proves that the ANC as an organization is a criminal syndicate. So the reason we opened this case today is to prove to the NPA that there was a criminal syndicate running, and not just a few individuals who were in charge of appointing different people.
Speaking of individuals, the Zondo Commission does name some politicians, particularly from the African National Congress. Did you perhaps make mention of those names now while you're opening this criminal case, in as much as you're doing it to lay a charge against the organization?
Of course, we mention names like Jesse Duarte. We name people like Ace Makashule, Jacob Zuma, your usual suspects who were named in state capture. Of course, you must remember that at the time of state capture, the head of the cadre deployment program was President Cyril Ramaphosa. So President Cyril Ramaphosa also has to answer as to why he allowed the cadre deployment program to appoint people like Brian Malefi and Mashele Koko and Dr. Dudu Moyeni and these Ben Ngubani, because he was in charge of that process. So he has a lot to answer for, because he was key to which cadre was deployed to what department, and also why the cadres were constantly turned. They went from one entity to the next. So just before they were caught at one entity, they went to the next entity. So there's a lot to answer for. But you must remember that the ANC have mass meetings and the cabinet have mass meetings. That means that it's a syndicate operating, because everyone had to approve who the cadres were that were deployed. And that's what our affidavit today seeks to do, is to prove that there was that the ANC is an entire criminal syndication.
We know that the findings and the recommendations are not legally binding, and we know that there's a process that the President is going to take in terms of implementation. We also know that there's going to be a parliamentary process to look into the findings of the Zondo Commission, and we know the NPA has even added additional resources to look at the findings and prosecute those who have been mentioned. So What then are you hoping will be different here with the South African police, given the fact that other law enforcement agencies are also bolstering their efforts to investigate and perhaps also look at how they'll be prosecuting some of the individuals that you've just mentioned?
The DA is throwing the kitchen sink at this. Every possible avenue we are going to travel down. We cannot wait for commissions. We cannot wait for more inquiries. We cannot wait. We have to help. This will just assist the NPA. It will not hinder it in any way. It will give the NPA assistance. I've sat on commissions of inquiry where they've said it will take 3 months and it landed up taking 2 years. I know the way these things work. The wheels of justice turn very slowly, but we need them now to work so fast. So we are willing to do anything. We will stop at nothing to make sure that those responsible for state capture are caught and they have the might of the law thrown at them. My colleague, Leon Schreiber, he's got a private members bill in Parliament which will actually outlaw cadre deployment so that cadres will not be allowed to be deployed to steal and loot as they have been doing before. So we are doing everything that is humanly possible to protect South Africa, do our job, which our oath of office tells us we have to do, and we will, whatever it takes, we're willing to do. We will stop at nothing, and if it means that we have to come to a police station every single day, that's what we'll do.
Lastly, before I let you go, you did approach the FBI to look into the Phala Phala farm incident. What is the update there, and what other measures are you taking as the DA to hold the president accountable for that particular incident that happened at his farm?
Well, of course, the FBI will report directly back to John Steenhuisen, who sent in the complaint. So they will be in touch with John Steenhuisen, not with me. So I'm unable to comment on what the FBI process is, but I know that John has, done what he's needed to do with the FBI. What our process is now in
Is that not a discussion within the caucus of the DA?
It is absolutely a discussion within the caucus, but I haven't asked John if he's had a response from the FBI yet, so I don't want to assume that he's had a response. I'll ask him and then we'll let you know. But I can't assume. But what we desperately need and what John has asked for is that an ad hoc committee is immediately established to investigate the Phala Phala incident in Parliament, because it's a breach of the Ethics Code and the Powers and Privileges Code. So that's what we're going to do from our side, so the FBI can do their work and we'll do our work in Parliament by having a special ad hoc committee.
Thank you so much for your time. Natasha Mazone, the Chief Whip of the Democratic Alliance, breaking down what exactly they'll be doing to hold those who have been implicated in the Zondo Commission, and particularly the ANC as a whole and the President regarding the Phala Phala farm incident. So all of those things are actions that they're taking as the official opposition party in the country.
Athi Mtongana, live for us in Cape Town. Thank you.